Tony from Modesta.Africa. If you have not seen me for a week, I had a lot happening, people. I'm grateful to God that I've seen the other side of this week. Here, strong and ready to carry on. We've been talking to entrepreneurs this entire week. Well, now, and you want to know, Modesta, do I shut down? Modesta, do I scale down? Modesta, what do I do in times of crisis? So I'm out here speaking to entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, welcome. If you're thinking of being an entrepreneur, very good idea. It's about time. All things about how to weather COVID-19, how to make the most of the times we're in to not only thrive right now, but to catapult your business hereafter. I had an amazing session with the master plan class that's actually finishing. It was their 9th week. Next week, they're done. And somebody said COVID-19 is an opportunity. I almost jumped through the screen and hugged him because that's what it should be. Not because of COVID-19, and I understand people are passing away, and I say this every single week. I do not make light of the fact that people are dying in this crisis. But what I want us to understand is this pandemic, as an entrepreneur, presents an opportunity for you to rethink, for you to review the way you've been doing things, for you to reposition, rebrand, and just catapult you not only in the time we're in, but thereafter. So we have discussed from the very beginning, we were talking about, oh, I need to get my book. Where did I put that book? I'm going to get the book. We've been speaking from the very beginning about, what do you do then when you are under-resourced and you still need to deliver? What do you do when you can't? Like today, we're going to talk about what do you do when you can't go and meet your clients, when you can't open up, your business? What happens then? What happens when you need to have different skill sets for the times we're in? You're pivoting. Maybe you've decided not to shut down. You've decided to pivot instead. What does that look like in terms of the skill sets that you need to still be able to deliver excellence? How do you, one of the topics, and I think people love this, how do you create something right now, whether you're pivoting slightly, whether there's a new needs-based opportunity that you've identified? How do you create something the market actually wants and is willing to pay for? These are the topics we've captured this week. If you say, well, Modesta, I wasn't there, I didn't know you were doing this thing, fear not, fear not. Go to Purpose and Excellence Academy. You can just type Purpose and Excellence on YouTube and you will see arranged in playlists. I see Pumla there. I know she'll be very proud to hear that I've arranged things in playlists. And on the business success playlist are all the videos that we've covered this week. So you're an entrepreneur in times of crisis and you're wondering what to do. How do I pivot? What do I base my decisions on? And you want to make decisions, I've been saying this, not based on panic, but on plan. So you do not pivot because everybody else is saying we need to shut down. Everybody else is saying take your money out of this thing. Everybody else is saying You're going to pivot not on panic, but on plan. What was your plan before you even started this year? What was your plan before COVID hit you? How then can you pivot and still be able to stay on track on your plan? Maybe not your goals, maybe not in the time frame that you wanted, but where will you pivot? How? So that you can still stay in business, so that you can thrive, and so that pivoting from now, you're able to move forward even stronger. So if it wasn't for COVID to happen, you had to at some point actually think about how you're going to deliver your business remotely. This is a long overdue conversation you should have had with yourself, with your partners, with your team, with whoever else is invested in your business success, with me, your virtual coach, right? That there is an importance in the time that we're in to both have a physical presence as well as an online presence, to build the relationships, organic and physical relationships, where you're able to see and touch your customer, and they're able to come into the store and really enjoy the experience of your firm, as well as looking at how you can adjust your products. And I actually had a really great post for you guys. Listen to me calling it really great. Like I wrote it and then I call it really great. just love me, guys. Just love me. But this post, yesterday's post, was speaking to everybody that was looking at how to make sure that they're able to still make that ching ching in times of crisis. And I spoke to you about three things yesterday. Yesterday, I told you that you can, and it wasn't a video, so don't look for the video. It was a post that I put on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. The longer versions weren't everywhere except Twitter, right? Twitter is just a short one. And I said, listen, first of all, you need to look at what the market actually needs at the moment. So it can still be related to what you've always been offering them, what they always come to you for. But look at how needs have changed. Consumers have not only changed their spending habits, they've also changed the products that they buy. I just read, where did I read about Louis Vuitton losing $30 billion? I read that somewhere. Because who's spending on luxury brands right now? No one. I mean, it wasn't just Louis Vuitton, it was also Dom Perignon. Well, there's no need for them. People are not trying to party like that anymore. And so you might have something. And in my post yesterday, I said, please do not shove down people's throats the very same things you've been offering them, simply because that's what you do. That's your specialty, and that's what you do. If your specialty is in high demand right now, ching ching, what a bonus. Like, you go and thank God for that. But if what you've been doing, like yours truly here, there's some aspects of what you've been doing, some people are like, that's a luxury right now. Given the fact that I need to pay rent and I need to pay utilities and I need to get these things done, some of what you're coming to us with would be a luxury right now. So no, look for me after 6 months. Then that means you and I'm including myself on this list, need to pivot. And so we've been talking about, how then do you pivot? The second thing that I told you yesterday is you should also look at how to create systems so that you're minimizing, obviously you can't have physical contact. You're also minimizing the back and forth conversations people have. How many of you know that when you're sitting there going back and forth with people, you're probably going to get into misunderstandings? So if you want to run your business seamlessly, if you want people to have, a similar experience, if you want people to leave happy, you need to put in systems and structures out there so that your business success does not depend on conversations you're having unless you completely scripted it and people are following a script. So I was also talking about having systems yesterday to help you so that you can give a great service. And especially if you can put a lot of what you do online, and today's topic, kind of marries in on that, doesn't it? About delivering remotely. If you can have things online, people would enjoy that unpressured buying experience where there's no salesperson talking at me in my ear. That thank you very much. What's the link? Okay, so I can review this. Oh, nice, interesting. I can go to another site and compare it with somebody else's products. Oh, the benefits, the features, interesting. I can go and look at reviews. Why do you guys think I'm always asking people for reviews? You need to have people externally reviewing you, because sometimes what you say as a business, as a marketer, is not as trusted as regular people who interact with your business, with your products, with your services, and what they say, because they don't owe you anything. They don't have to say anything positive necessarily. So you want to have an online or at least a remote presence of sorts where people can check out what you have to offer, compare it with others, and just easily order, knowing that you will deliver according to what you promised you would deliver in the time frame that you said you would promise. So if you haven't already looked at that, go to yesterday's post. So yesterday being Friday the 8th, go to yesterday's post and see how you can make sure to keep that money flowing in your business during times of crisis by safeguarding 3 critical areas. But I want to move on to today. What then do you do? How can you still deliver remotely? And I know a lot of people with brick and mortar businesses who have products, tangible products that they take someplace. I'm like, yeah, how do I do that, Modesta? I would like to know how I will deliver remotely in these times. How do you, a person that offers services that require interaction with people? I just had an exchange with somebody yesterday, and she said, I have to shut down because she offers a service, and her service involves touching people, it's a spa. So then what does she do in times like this? You will find today's session so very interesting. And I pray you've already tagged somebody. And I saw some people who tagged, hey, Miriam, I see you, that you've tagged people that you know would benefit from this. Just as I am out there preparing, guys, I prepare for you guys, right? I'm writing books, I'm showing up live, I'm preparing content to share generously. I pray you're also sharing with other entrepreneurs that need this. So going into the topic today, if you haven't been following the thread, if you haven't been out there on this Entrepreneur in Times of Crisis series, you can find it on Purpose and Excellence Academy channel on YouTube. And while you're there, I mean, you might as well subscribe. By the way, oh my goodness, I forgot to say, guys, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It took me 3 years. I don't know how. I don't know what I was doing wrong, and I'm learning. 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thanks to you and your friends and your siblings and your parents and whoever else you spread the word to, I have 1.3, and I don't have 1.3, wait, 1.03 followers. Look at how excited I am to get 1,000. People have millions out there. Like people have hundreds of millions. People probably have billions of followers in YouTube. I am excited because, guys, I stick to you. Have you noticed? Like I am invested in you guys. I'm not speaking to anybody else. So if you guys aren't moved, then I go bust. Thank you so much. And I know some of you probably, clicked on that thing because of what happened to me. And so you wanted to get a bit more info. But I am grateful all the same for whatever your motivation was or whoever anybody else's motivation was. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you know what that means now? With 1,000 YouTube subscribers, I know I'm going way off tangent, but I just want to say thank you. It means that I can now record on a mobile device rather than be stuck at a desktop or a laptop. It also means I can start to monetize through YouTube. And you guys know I like talking about diversifying your income, right? And so YouTube is soon to be another source of income for me. Thank you very much. And that is thanks to you. Thank you. Now, how about I turn to your business and talk about how I can help you continue to deliver in times of crisis? I think that would be a fair exchange. Thank you for doing for me. Thank you for standing with me. And this entire series, if you're in business, and if you're considering business, not that you're thinking, okay, maybe I should just stick to my job. This entire series was created with you in mind and you thriving, not only in times of crisis, but moving forward. Now, I want to go straight to the ways that you can deliver remotely, and then I'll speak about the strategies that you can put in place to make sure that you can do so successfully, and even some tools that I have used. By the way, I think just one of these do I have an affiliation with, like I would get something if I were to recommend them. The rest of them I'm just sharing because I want you to succeed anyway, but I'm saying I'm not sharing these particular ones because I have any affiliation with them. These are the ones that I have used and I've seen working for me. I'm sure there are many others that you could use. Let's get straight to it. So there's several ways that you can deliver remotely. And I remember, and actually I called her that day, but she didn't answer. I was thinking of my sister in marriage. How do I put it? Like, we are married to brothers, right? So I was thinking about her business because her business is also, meeting with people and touching, people's hair, people's bodies and everything. So as soon as I thought of businesses closing down at home, I thought of Lydia. And I was thinking, ideas started flowing. You guys know, being a coach, being a serial entrepreneur, like ideas started flowing. What would Lydia do then, if she has to close her salon and her spa? And then ideas started flowing in my head. And so I am speaking not just to people that have products that they usually deliver, people come to the office and buy, but even people who serve other people, but they do so physically. And now that there's social distancing, they're unable to do that. So in no particular order, I am going to list, I've written 5 things that you can do to still be able to deliver remotely for business continuity in times of crisis. Number 1, rather than people coming in to pick up things, you can mail things forward. And one of the ways that I had written down on how you can ensure their safety is if you have health and safety policies that you explain that these things were handled well. I remember seeing an ad for a pizza delivery service, and they were talking about, so our ovens are heated up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and the only hands after they get out of the oven, the only hands that touch the pizza, after they get out of that 450-degree Fahrenheit oven, are yours. So basically, they're putting into their ad the information that, hey, when you're thinking about your health in times of COVID, understand that you're safe to order pizza from us. They also have contactless delivery. So we can deliver in such a way that you don't have to interact with our delivery people. So mailing the things that people used to come and buy from you is one way for you to continue serving remotely. Number two is physically go deliver. So maybe some people don't have issues with you physically showing up at their premises, whether that's an office premises or that is their house. That's something else to consider. So you can either put things in the post and they arrive, or you can physically deliver to their premises what they used to come to get from you. And I understand, many people I'm speaking to in an African context. Listen, I have seen people put their products, they have some understanding with public buses that go regionally, so that what they offer their clients can be delivered even in other parts of the country. And so, don't tell me, oh, well, that wouldn't be practical in Africa. It's so most innovative, ingenious continent God has created. Because of the circumstances we're in, all kinds of entrepreneurial thoughts and products and means and ways of getting by are birthed in that context. So if you cannot mail, and you can mail in whatever creative ways that you can think of, you can deliver. Let your clients know. You can also franchise. Now, of course, I say franchising, that's like formal, where somebody else closer to your client. This is why, guys, I've been talking about your target audience, right? You need to know who you're speaking to. You're not speaking to everybody. So somebody else closer to your audience can, if you have products, can have those products, have an inventory there, and be able to take them in their locality, to your customers in their locality. Or, somebody else, you can enter into an agreement, again, similar to a franchise, where they're able to produce your products locally. Of course, you facilitate that and deliver. So where you feel like, okay, I am not about to go out and serve all the clients that usually came to me, look at ways that you can partner with others that are able to deliver to your clients, that are able to produce and serve your clients, especially if you feel that your target market is in a specific geographic area, or they tend to be found in certain places that are maybe that are associated with other businesses. Then you can look at having these hubs where people can access your products and services. Another thing that you can do, and this is what I was thinking when I was thinking of Lydia and her business, is facilitating do-it-yourself services. So let's say you had a salon, a barber, you had a spa, and you're wondering that, well, this is what I do. I must physically touch people. This is my business. What do I do now? You can pivot and get to a place where you're teaching people how to create some of your products themselves, at home. Now somebody's already thinking, but that's going to take money away from me. Listen. Let me rehash this. Let me go back. There is finances that you can get immediately, right? There's a transaction. I sold something and I got paid. But some of the capital that you have with people will be reputational, will be relational. Yes, you may not get the money because they're not getting your product, or they're not coming in for your service where you have your secret recipe. But you can teach them. Maybe it's not your secret recipe with your little whatever secret sauce that you have in there, but something else that you can teach them to do themselves at home, and they will value the fact that you have gone out of your way to care that their hair is looking crazy, like Modesta, like their skin isn't doing well, their nails or something other. Barbers, I don't know, there's something that maybe men use so they don't get razor bumps or whatever it is, that you can recommend a mix. Look at me giving you ideas. Like, this is proper coaching. Ain't nobody paying me. I love you guys. You can come up with something that they can do themselves. And listen, They will see you as being present, as being a person in a business that cares, as being relevant to their current needs during this crisis because they're restricted at home, as adding value to them. They will see you as a business that doesn't just care when you show up with the money, but a business that truly cares for them first, but is also doing it for the money. I wonder if you get me. So this is something else you can do. You can facilitate your clients, your customers to do certain things themselves. You can show them, I mean, you can get on YouTube, guys. You can start a whole stream, an income stream of your business on YouTube that you will later continue with to supplement your business. So think about things like that. Think about formulas, think about products and services that you can help them do themselves. You combine this, that, and the other. Think of having tutorials. Maybe you have master classes for certain things, how they can do certain things. Some people, I mean, people that have gyms and exercise, etc., you can start hosting classes online. There are so many things that you can do for your business to continue. So you could charge for those master classes. And you're teaching people, how to do whatever it is that they used to come to you for. You can have master classes of how people can, maybe you don't want to put it on YouTube, you don't want people to use your formula and continue with thereafter. You can have master classes. People pay for the master classes. I need some water. People pay for the master classes, right? And then, they come in to you teaching them how to do it themselves at home. And listen, can I tell you this? My water. Let me tell you this. When you are really good at what you do, and your customers and your niche market has identified you as the go-to resource, as their guide, as the credible, relatable source, even if they could do things themselves, they would rather come to you because not only do you know your stuff, you do it so well, and you deliver your service so incredibly awesome that they would rather part with their money to partner with you than try to wing it themselves or, go trial and error at home. So never fear that when you are generous, when you are there and you care more about serving your customers than you are about getting back, that they will run away. Of course, there's the odd person be like, oh, well, now that I know it, I'll do it my own hodgepodge way. Part of them. But most people will use this as, what can I do right now? This is a situation I'm in. So thank you for the tip. Thank you for the resources. Thank you for the strategy. Thank you for the process. Thank you for the ingredients. I will do it now. But as soon as this thing is done, because I know I could never do it like you do. And that is the assurance and the security and the confidence you should always have. If you have understood who you are and what you can do, and you have packaged it well, nobody can do what you do like you do. So you never have to worry that they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to decide to do it themselves. If they do, fine. It's their life, their money. But chances are, if you have so implanted yourself, your service, your brand in their hearts, they will continue with you. And especially if you're going to do something like this, reaching out to serve them in times of crisis in a way that doesn't necessarily give you the monetary returns that you would have had you been serving them in person, they will never forget that. So I recommend that you look at doing that. Somebody's asking me about fear. I'll address that, Rashid, in a minute. Another way for you to do that is go online. Now, I understand there's some services have to be in person, right? I talked about spas and barbers and salons, but there's other things that you can do online. Consider creating, even if it's a landing page that explains what you do, that offers, and this is something else that I spoke about in my article yesterday, that offers a variety of ways people can access your products and services. Not just the one thing, which is like take it or leave it, a variety of products and services that they can check out, they can compare with others, they can compare against each other, they can look at the prices, they can look at the payment plans, and they can easily order and have it delivered. Do that. And so, for instance, maybe people's issue isn't getting the product from you. Maybe they don't have an issue because if they receive a box, they can clean it, right? We're told soap and water, a cloth with soap and water, or something with bleach, with, let me not even start talking to you guys because I'm not an expert, right? But you guys do know that when you receive something, you can clean it before you use it to make sure that, the virus isn't on it. So maybe people's issue isn't getting your products and services. Their issue is just exposing themselves by going out there to go mingle with a lot of people trying to get products and services. Some people don't even have an issue with that. They just have an issue with the fact that you've closed. So then when you go online and people are able to, more people are able to access, they will do that. So consider that as well as a way of delivering remotely for business continuity. Pivot your business right now to focus on serving your customers online. Which then means I want to bring this in as really critical safeguards if you're going to consider to doing things like this. Number one, make sure to develop products that they actually need now. I don't want you, please don't look for me with this. I don't want you investing in things that you didn't first do the research with your customers and with the clients to absolutely need this right now. Otherwise, you will invest in money and then you will have this stock sitting there with you. So make sure that these products, of course, still associated with what you were doing for them before, are what they need now. People will need different things. They will need smaller amounts. Maybe they will need greater amounts. Maybe they will need, maybe one product in your portfolio will sell more than others. So then you'll focus on that product. So first of all, do your research so that when you decide then that you're going to deliver remotely, you are marketing and you're selling products that you know will move right now. Because it will cost you, right, to pivot into this strategy. It will cost you to rearrange things so that you're doing more, you're investing more in logistics now. Maybe you're investing more in people that will actually go and deliver. Maybe you're investing more in packaging, etc. So you must think this through. This is my disclaimer. Like, I will jump when you come to me, like, you advise me. I'll be like, nah. I asked you to do your research so that you can make sure that what you're about to go into is actually what your market needs right now. Number two, train your people, please, to deliver well. People are tense right now. People are jumpy right now. The last thing they want is for you and your team to be unprofessional and to lack integrity. So number two, train all personnel to execute this new business as usual. And I pray that you guys really get this as entrepreneurs. You're not about to go out and serve the way you've always served. You're pivoting. And you understand that your customer right now has different sensitivities, has different needs, and wants to be treated differently because of the heightened security and the heightened sensitivity and even risk with, interacting with you and your business. And so please train your people to be sensitive to that, to be sensitive to wear gloves and masks, to be sensitive to, to maintain distance, to be sensitive in the way they carry and they handle the things that will ultimately get to your customers, to be sensitive even in the customer service, whether you have a customer service line, or you have virtual assistants, whether you have chat boxes and chat bots, engaging with people. Make sure to give your business a fighting chance. Make sure that you have trained your people well in this new way of doing business and in the new products that they will now be taking out to your customers. Number three, integrate safe, seamless processes to buy and receive goods and services. And so are you saying that we're not going to be exchanging cash in hand? People are paying online or they're paying by mobile phone? Then institute that. Are you saying that, in the time we're in, there will be no returns? Make sure your policy says, okay, if you're going to do returns, it's not going to be in this period, so people need to know. Or maybe you're just not doing any returns because you cannot risk things going back and forth between people. Are you now going to tell people that it will take longer to deliver than it was before? Make sure you've written that down to manage expectations. Are you going to prove something. I don't know, when something is delivered, prove that it's safe or prove that it's gone through certain procedures. Are you going to maybe have a tamper-proof seal on some of your products, that if this seal is not on, then please don't take it? That way, then your people and your customers know, I'm going to look out for the seal. It doesn't have the seal. No, I'm not getting this. Think of what your customers are concerned about during COVID, that are concerned about with buying products and services in the times that we're in, and then institute the policies that will not only safeguard your business, that but will also assure them that they are safe to do business with you right now. Both their health is safe, but their finances, thank you very much, are safe to engage with your business right now. Number four, address health and safety concerns. So I think I put that out in the previous one, that you should get people with training. They should take safety precautions. You should have it written down. But even your ads, your customer service can say that, even if people are not talking about it. Sometimes in the waiting time, or in an ad in fine print, or what I've noticed, like with websites, at the very top they will have some COVID-19 notification, whether they're informing you that orders will take longer, whether they're informing you that they've done some health and safety training, and so they're really kitted up to serve you, whether they're informing you that they will, not be able to deliver certain things, but certain things they will. Do that as well. Make sure that you're putting it front and center in your ads, on social media. It could be at your store, even if it's closed. You've got information there to say, hey, you can find us online, and we are, and I can't say COVID compliant. I guess I'm not sure if there's any standard that's been put out there yet, but you can assure them, you can give them the peace to know that they can do business with you. Number five, consistently market your products to your customers. It should be a no-brainer, but sometimes people need reminding. Make sure, now that you've decided to stay in business and you've decided to pivot your business to possibly deliver differently, or you've created new products, you've developed new products that you're taking out to your customers, consistently market, be visible, please, be relevant, please, add value. Let people know you are there. Let people know you're still in business. Let people know their favorite, this thing is there, and that other thing that they like to get that way, they can get it, but now they're going to get it differently. Don't just do it and sit there and kind of, drum your fingers, kind of hoping that people will get it. Do it all the time, as often as you can. And I don't mean you get in people's inboxes, but make sure you're visible so that people know that you're still in business. You've got products that address their needs right now in a way that they can feel comfortable doing business with you without taking too great a health and financial risk, so that you can not only be able to deliver remotely, but really ensure business continuity and growth in times of crisis. And then number six, communicate. Oh, I've mentioned this already. Your expected methods, times, conditions that people can access your business, and then deliver as promised. And I think number six, this is what's most key. Please deliver as promised. This is what I have been sharing with people. My first job was in 2004, January. This is something I've been communicating since then. And then, of course, I did, school stunts, whatever, before that, university. But ever since January 2004 to date, I have been saying to people, please think about your word, what you say. Above all else is what people do business with. People do business with those they trust. And why do they trust you? They trust you because they believe you have the character, the competence, and the relationship connection to engage with them. So when you send your word out, you better have thought through your word, because people do business based on your word. So think about what you are saying you're now doing, under what terms and conditions, how long things will take, how they're now going to be delivered differently, and then please keep your word. What you said you will do, please do it. If for some reason, understanding that supply chains and all kinds of things right now have been disrupted, understanding that you may not be able to deliver as you thought, when you thought, as soon as you can, communicate to those affected that you're not able to keep your word as you had said. But it's not enough to say you're not able to keep your word. Let them know when to expect what you had promised to deliver, or let them know what the alternative is if you're unable to deliver. Guys, my dad passed away last Friday. I had this session that we're having today scheduled for last Friday. I sent you, like in my sorrow and everything, I just sent a quick thing, I think, to say today's session is canceled. Today's Entrepreneur in Crisis series is canceled. Now, another, it was public, because I also posted that my dad had passed away. People would have understood, like, yeah, well, she's not showing up. Her dad just passed. But I had to keep my word. On Thursday, I told you guys on Friday, we have a session. I can't just keep quiet on Friday. You show up at the time that was scheduled and I'm not there. I had to say something to you that I am sorry. I am not, able to deliver today. But I wasn't in a position to say when I would be. Grief and sorrow, I didn't know when it would take me to come back. But what I did say is, see you next week. Today is the seventh day, right? Since my dad passed, since I said that. Within the week, I have gotten back to you. I kept my word. It matters to me that I keep my word, that I'm a person of my word. Because what I have learned year in, year out, time and again, is that's all I have. Names, reputations, who knows me, who can open doors, who can shut doors, who's got the money, none of that matters. If you're a person of your word, you can be uprooted and set up any place else and still be able to thrive because you keep your word as an entrepreneur or just as a person. So as we're talking about these times of crisis and you looking at how do I deliver remotely for business continuity, please understand you could look at, what did I say? Mailing things to people. You can look at delivering, packages. You can look at facilitating them to be able to do it themselves. You could have master classes maybe, or, you run a YouTube channel like I am doing with Purpose and License Academy. You can go online so that people can browse, view in the safety and comfort of their own home and order and have things delivered. But as soon as you say you're doing a thing and you say you're doing it on certain terms and conditions and you're able to deliver in a certain way at a certain time, do it. Keep your word. It's not enough to talk about all the ways that you can continue your business if you're not going to do business well. They're not going to keep away because of social distance and COVID. They're going to keep away because you're not a business of your word. And what's behind the business? Or who's behind the business? You are behind the business because you're not a man or a woman of your word. And so, yes, appreciating that life happens, and life has happened. COVID has happened. I just had, a significant loss in my life. Still, keep your word. If you can't keep your word, send another word as soon as you can that I'm unable to deliver on the terms I said. Where possible, you can explain why and explain then when you can deliver, and perhaps give them some sort of discount or deal, or maybe the next time you order, we will not charge you for shipping, or whatever it is. Or an alternative. So this is no longer in stock. We're unable to deliver this. We don't even know when it'll next be available. But instead there is this, or we can return your money. Whatever it is that you do, make sure when you send your word, you really think through the word before you send it, because you will have to keep it. I'm only speaking to purpose-driven leaders. Let me let you guys know. I don't play. I'm only speaking to people who mean to be purpose-driven, people who mean to stand on integrity and work ethic. And so you think through what you're going to promise during these COVID times and deliver it. If you can't deliver it, let people know what happened, what is the alternative, or just shut down until you can do business as usual. This is my advice to you. So now, on that very harsh note, guys, in Swahili there's this saying that says ninang'ata na kupuliza. So it means, like a mouse. And people are like, how do you know about mouse and rats? Anyway, Anyway, there's a saying that says you bite a little and then you blow on it. So I hurt a little and then I blow on it and you guys feel better. So I know what I said right now about being ethical and then really having integrity and keeping your word. That bites, although it's true. And I want you to follow through. I now want to blow a little to make it feel all better and talk about some of the tools that you can use to be able to deliver remotely. So I am one who is all about getting a personal assistant. Like I believe in that. Even if I can do the things that personal assistants do, that's not how I want to invest my time. We were just talking in the master plan class about auditing your 24 hours and really looking at how to leverage your support system. You're not going to do things simply because you can do them. You're going to do the things that will give you the greatest returns on your investment of time, of money, of resources, of energy, of sanity, for crying out loud. So as you consider delivering remotely, whether it's a product or service that you offer, consider then getting, assistance, especially if you can subscribe now. Oh, thank goodness for choices to virtual assistants online. You can subscribe to a virtual assistant service or customer service. You don't have them; they're housed elsewhere, but they can learn about your business and be able to serve your clients 24/7 in some contexts because of the differences. I mean, you may not need this 24/7 if you're only serving people in a certain geographic area, but let's say you're doing global, it would help to have a bot engaging with your clients or somebody else on the line that can speak on your business. A website, honestly, at this point, no matter how small you are, is key. And there are a lot of sites, guys, that you can create. For instance, I use Wix.com, but you can go to the one that has a blog, like blogspot at the end. Oh, the name just left me. But you can actually create sites. Maybe they won't have your domain, your nice little ending at extension at the end, but you can still have an online presence. A lot of people actually just using Facebook. You can create a Facebook page around your business and be able to do business on it as well. So consider having an online presence. On my page, which page is it? Personal Excellence or Modesto? Both. I have an automatic response. So when you message me, you will get a response. That's actually not me. Of course, it sounds me because I wrote it, but it is an automatic response that says, "Hey, thank you for reaching out to me. I have seen your message and I will get back to you." And, I mentioned when I'll get back to you. Then I am prompted on my phone that somebody messaged me so that I can go and respond to that. But because you already got that initial communication to say, "I am in receipt of your message, give me time, I'll respond after a certain time," it manages your expectations. You don't feel like, what kind of business doesn't respond? So consider things like that. Facebook is free, guys. Create a page for your business on Facebook and put in some of these communication tools and functions that will help you be visible, be relevant, be accessible to your customers. YouTube is a brilliant place where you want to market your products, where you want to talk about your services and your products, or you want to serve your customers in a way, for instance, for the people that have spas and barbers and salons, and they now cannot their clients can't come to them, they can show some DIY things. Either your family can help you do your hair, whatever. My husband will not let me touch his hair. He says he trusts me with his children. He trusts me with his name and his legacy, with his family members. He does not trust me with his hair. So he's just like doing this to his fro since COVID started. That's up to him. He won't let me touch his hair. Fine. That's just a side note. Mando won't let me touch his hair. But I want to say to you, you can use YouTube to create products and services that your clients can do themselves. Either they can buy the ingredients and get them done themselves, or they can have family members helping them with something that you used to do for them for the time that you're in. And you can then, after the pandemic has subsided and people are back to doing business and engaging with each other physically, you can then use that YouTube channel to continue to promote your business and to continue to add value. I believe a lot of businesses and innovations are going to come out of this time. It often comes when you're squeezed, you make a plan. I would say also, look at soliciting partnerships with courier services. So whether you've got just somebody with a three-wheeler that you can trust to take things around for you, or you can actually engage a firm that you can trust, that has all the insurance safeguards to deliver your services, depending on what level of entrepreneurship you're at. You can get into partnership. You don't have to buy a three-wheeler. You don't have to buy a car or get people. You can already have somebody that's existing. Maybe they don't have the kind of clients that they used to have when everybody was moving around, that would get into partnerships to deliver your products to clients. I use Zoom to coach and to consult, whether I show up physically and people see me, or we're just on voice. The proceedings, the conversations, the sessions can be recorded for later retrieval. You can use that too as a tool for you to deliver to your customers, instead of waiting for when you can physically meet together. I mean, we've seen presidents, hosting meetings between each other on online. And I know Zoom right now has become very popular, but I've been using it for a long time before that. And the subscription, you can actually use it for free, FYI. But I use a very inexpensive subscription, and I really get a lot of value from it. I mentioned Monday.com for productivity, for you and your team, to make sure that you can trace who's doing what when, and be able to engage each other and pass on tasks to each other. You can also do that with your clients. I use Monday.com for my clients. And so I see my clients, what are the things that I'm supposed to do by them, how they're coping on their end, what it is they want me to do on my end, and we're able to relate that way. And so having that kind of service, having that kind of proximity and access to each other, is also such a premium. As a matter of fact, if you're offering a service, you could, especially a service related to, let's say business development and career, you could be engaged on a retainer. And so that's basically saying, these are the services I will offer. And then I understand that as you're doing life, you may come across a certain challenge that you need my input. I wouldn't want you to pay all over again. Put me on a retainer so that you can have access to me at no additional cost to you. And rather than waiting for when you can do the big charge, like get big money, you can have somebody on a monthly subscription and still get significant value, in engaging with them that way. So consider that. That's just a freebie I wanted to throw at you, share with you. I have Acuity scheduling. So that I don't have 10 people asking me when I'm available for them, I have a scheduling app, which then means people can see my calendar when I am available, and they can book, because as soon as they have booked, that slot is not available. So when somebody else goes to check my availability, they will see other slots. So that minimizes the email back and forth. When are you available? Or maybe you went to sleep, or maybe you went to eat, or maybe you went to do something else and you didn't reply to them, and you could lose that customer. But if you have a calendar, I mean, you can even do this just on Google, which is free. Then you slot out your calendar when you are available. My calendar open for business is not open 7 days a week. There's certain days that I've marked out for other things that I'm doing, so clients cannot see those days for my availability. And of course, there are also certain times of day that I'm not available. You can do that too, to make sure that people can access you seamlessly. It's just easy to access you. It's simple. And my calendar allows people, or rather expects people, to pay to access me. So and some of you probably look for me and said, hey, Modesta, I would like to bounce this off of you. Hey, Modesta, I have this business challenge and I wanted you to look at it. Modesta, I'm looking to pivot in this way in my business, and I wanted you to support me with a strategy on how to do that. Or whatever other area in your business that you need self advice for. You would find that I say, absolutely, let's do this. Thank you so much for reaching out. Here's a link to my calendar. When you go to my calendar, and it's to a discovery call, you want to book the discovery call, it'll tell you how much it is. It's $99 to have a discovery call with me. And so if you're serious, we'll go ahead and do that. If you're not serious, well, I'm also not available. And so you can have some of these things that will give people access to you. They can book your calendar, and there you go. You find your calendar booked, you find money has come in. And that's what you're going to do on that day, because you made yourself available. There isn't, are you there? Can you please? Can I have your WhatsApp number? Are you found? Where are you found? Your phone was off, and so I went somewhere else. None of that, guys. We're going to do it seamlessly. And I've also mentioned already Facebook, Instagram. You can go to Messenger for some messages that you have for people. Keep checking your inbox, by the way, guys. A lot of people communicate with us on inbox, and sometimes people are just looking at the comments on posts, and you miss opportunities for what people are saying, or even miss opportunities to engage with people in your inbox. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you today on how you can deliver remotely for business continuity in times of crisis. That you can consider mailing something, so something just goes out in the mail, people pick it up when they go to the post office, or they, whatever, wherever they get their mail. You can deliver your team, you or your team can physically deliver things, make sure that you're complying with health and safety standards. You can facilitate people to do it themselves, and they will thank you for it. And if you want to actually earn from it, which I'm all for, do a master class. Have something. I mean, even on YouTube, you can restrict certain videos to only be available to people that pay. So you advertise it, those that pay can see your classes, and can access your material. But mine is most of mine are public, but others they're hidden. You can franchise or partner with other people that are closer to your customers, and they can deliver to them inexpensively, well, relatively inexpensively, compared to if you had to leave where you are and try to find all your customers where they were. Many a times, a lot of businesses that are established in certain places are established in places where people congregate. So maybe a lot of people work in that area, and so the business is there, so that during, in between, their lunch breaks or before or after work, they're able to come into your business. But your customers could come from all kinds of different places, and you're not at the moment in a position to start going around to deliver things to them. And so if you get into franchise arrangements, or you have people that are affiliates of yours that are able to serve your clients, they're well trained, remember that was really key, and can serve your clients from where they are, amazing. Do that. And the last one that I said is go online. That then means people can access your products, and especially if you have a variety of products with a variety of prices, they can compare benefits and features between your products and services, between other people's as well. Which is why, please, 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 when you have served well, which you should do all the time, ask for reviews, ask for testimonials, because people care now, not what you are saying as you're marketing yourself, because of course you will say positive things, you want business, but they care what other people are saying about what it is you can do. I want to leave that there, because I'm really just going back and repeating this entire session. I pray that it's helped you. Understanding the ways that you can deliver remotely, understanding what's important for you to consider as you're looking to deliver remotely. And also, I've shared some of the tools that you can consider. And like I said, these aren't the only tools. These are the world's best tools. These are the tools that I've used and that work for me. So I use Wix for my website. I use Wave Accounting for payment, PayPal as well. I use Zoom for communicating and coaching, consulting. I mean, you can use Skype, you can use WhatsApp, you can do that too. I use Monday.com for productivity. I have Acuity scheduling for people to schedule time on my calendar and be able to pay for the service as well. Facebook, I have pages that tell you what I do, and when you message me, I have prompts, auto responses that respond to you. Also have that on the website when you signed up for a service, or when you have maybe subscribed to the site or to a newsletter, you would have an initial response so that people know, okay, there is somebody there and they're going to do something about it. And I have so automated it that I will then get a prompt to say, hey, somebody looked for you. The auto response is going out fine, but go follow up with them. I pray that this has helped. We have one last topic, guys. We're talking about your money, how you're going to manage your money as a business during times of crisis. And I pray that I'll have you join me for that session. If this has meant something to you, this has helped you, please share this with somebody else who needs it. Just get this link, share it. You can tag them if they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. You can share the link on YouTube. You guys know I always take the YouTube video immediately after, and I share it all the platforms as well. I'm here to support you transition through this. A lot of the things that I'm talking about have affected me as well. So I have learned how to transition, and I have learned how how to position differently. And I'm grateful to God. My journey in transitioning started years ago when I had to leave, physically leave, where I was doing business, so that then it made sense for me to pivot online. And I want to support you to do the same thing. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next video. Much love. Bye. Bye. Ending now. Finish. Oh, Facebook. Thank you.